Hi guys, so this is my shorts here, and welcome back to that video which is called Poool157. And yes, now I'm going to talk about the animation videos. I know I really wish you watch gaming videos from past year, but I better go to watch gaming videos made by Poool later on, because the first videos made by Poool was Steak RPG, which was uploaded 10 years ago, back at the end of July 2009, because it's almost August since 2009. But I'm going to watch gaming videos made by Poool157 later on. Now, let's get back at what I was talking about. Now, back in 2015, Poool157 made a very first game mode animation which is supposed to be, but it's a stop motion animation test. And yes, it's a very first animation videos made by Poool. And this is supposed to be the first game mode videos, but because it's a test, if you guys can recognize that guy, it's the guy from Half-Life 2. Who gives a shotgun to Golden Freeman. And let's move on to the proper first video. It's called Billy Mays. The Big City Slider Station is a parody from these outfits back in a long time ago. I know it's been a whole year since Billy Mays died back in June 2009. And I can tell why Billy Mays had died in June 2009. It's the same year where Michael Jackson had died, if you guys can remember, for the last 10 years. I know it's been a very long time. Billy Mays had died with had died on the plane in an accident. But however, since Michael Jackson had died in a hospital, but Billy Mays had died in a plane accident or something, I don't even know about that. I know I never heard Billy Mays at some time, but I do heard of it till a year later. And Billy Mays was become popular memes. Now the Big City Slider Station is a quick cook machine, if you guys can remember that. It's a bit cheaper than oven and microwave and hob. And this is just England's and Square Sisters with Billy Mays. And let's move on to the Splatoon videos for real. It is a Splatoon videos which I meant. The Splat Ops 3 is a parody of Black Ops 3, if you guys get familiar with. But that Black Ops 3 was almost 4 years old already. Now, this Splat Ops 3 where England boy known as Brest, an early version of Brest and Mia, because Brest tried to attack Octoland with Black Ops 3 movement, and then Mia finished one of these Octoland off, and that's pretty much it. Life is Splatoon is a parody of Life is Strange, but it just put over a comedy version of Life is Strange. If guys are not familiar with Life is Strange, the first Life is Strange came out 4 years ago, since 2015, because it's an episodic drama games, and it's really good. And then a second one came out in 2018, but the rest of it was 2019. Now, the Life is Splatoon was a bit funny videos, but it's a bit a spoof, but very funny. However, the Red England boy was Nathan, which gets splattered by a listener known as Max, but it's just a parody videos. And let's move on.
You don't need a cabinet.
Now, dealing with spread and stains as a parody of the ball outfit from past year. And it's just all England's, but we could see Poool157's when appeared in this video with white shirts. Again, an early version of Poool, but that didn't even last long. Like, we could see Poool at the end of the videos because it had shirt on which is completely white and had black bit on it, but it just an early version. Now, it will see the Belly Maze got splat by Orange England boy and 2 girls, and then he got splat again by Poool, the early version of Poool. The Belly Maze tell you how to deal with these stains with sphere ball. And they add a bloopers at the beginning of this videos, but it's just original bloopers. But and we could hear a little bit S word here. But it's a little bit funny to hear that. I'm not sure about that way. Let's move on. Last minute gift is Omega Amaro 89 or Omega Squidman's club and jet by however, since last year he cyberbullied his fans. It turned out later on his videos he completely retired. And he ever talk about why he no longer be friends with Heavy the Squid, because the Heavy the Squid was one of the most perfect than Omega, and even worse for all, he take a picture of completely half naked with Ella which is not on, and he shipped with Ella also is not on as well. I can't forget what Heavy have done to Omega like that. Oh, and Heavy was able to bully his own fans because one of the kids will look like hack Heavy's channels, but I feel bad for that little boy like that. And even worse for all, Heavy let Omega cyberbully to the fans and attack Ella Godelia. But that's just not funny. And poor Omega was being betrayed by Heavy. It's not Omega's fault, it's Heavy is the only one who let Omega do sort of bad things to their fans. If Rupert is a bully to the disabled people, then that would be not funny either. And that is just really serious at all. So I'm not going to talk about this videos, but it's still good videos. So Pixel Prize is the only one who found out what Heavy Omega was hiding. I seen Pixel Prize since last year. After watching Omega's videos, I don't even realizing he's a cyberbully or Heavy is a cyberbully. But that was totally whoopsie daisy for me. I never wanted to talk about last minute gift, but because of Omega's nonsense, so I better try not to talk about that. Well, I wish I shouldn't talk about that, so I apologize about that. Now the hands replacer it's a very good or funny videos. If you can see, it's 2 minutes and almost 20 seconds in short videos, because the Pools do not have a short oh no, I meant the long videos. I meant because Pool did not have a long videos for the start. Now the hens replacer is a very funny videos. The video start off of Pooh was sleeping in the bed and they heard the door knocking, and then they opened the front door. They realizing it's the hen's version of that Pooh, and Pooh was refused that. So he slammed the door, and then the other hen's version was to knock in the door, and then they do it the easy way. Then they had to hold the hand instead. And the Pooh was still refused it. And then the hen's Pooh tried to get to that Pooh to upgrade it. And hen's version for that Pooh. And Pooh threw the bottle at and hen's Pooh. And then Pooh knocked and hen's Pooh down with that ink brush. And then Pooh was felt terrible, and they don't even realize then all the Spectre YouTube Boss model was completely enhanced update. So Pooh decided to update into a enhanced version by holding the hand, and Pooh had learned something new for them to update the enhanced version. And Pooh put the headphone back on after the update into a enhanced version of themselves. So that was bit funny. Now, this Christmas message is just not able to say that when Pooh was walking down the street feeling cold, and then they spot a multiple octolin known as Lilith, Leslie and Luna. However, they're supposed to be first debuted in a split up 3. However, there's supposed to be an early version of these 4, but because it's very confused if you first watched it back in 2015. I didn't first watch those videos back in 2015, so not until 2017 when I first watched Pooh these videos. However, when Pooh threw snowball at the ground, they end up and drop 3 of these octolin except Lella. And Pooh tell these 4 octolin Merry Christmas, and then they leave. And that was pretty much it. Octolin has some catch, which is a beginning of Octolin Innocent arc videos. The video start off Octodad was cleaning the dish. The guys did not play the Daddy's cat with Octodad. The Octodad to read the shopping list from his wife, and then they had to buy milk and cereals and some other potent stuff. And then the Octolin and then these 4 Octolin spot Octodad, and then Octodad was completely frightened by Octolins, and the Octolins started to chase Octodad down. After Octodad trapped in the wall with these 3 Octolin, the breast and Mare was show up. If guys and know who Breast and Mare is, it from its first debut from Split Up 3, but early version. And then Breast and Mare, and then Breast split a few of these Octolin, and then Mare had to split Lela, because Lela did not see where May was at because she fell asleep. And that's how videos end already. Now, I'm not sure about Moses' inkling because it's a parody of the guy who said, "Do it! Just do it," videos, and that was pretty much it. So let's move on. The home invasion is a zombie fighting videos. And yes, another sort of videos again. Now you need to keep in mind because though the games more short, the splattering short videos made by Poool is just for the start. But there will be longer videos made by Poool later. Now the home invasion where Poool was on the computer. And Poool was working on GMOD animation videos, and then they got ended up by unwelcome guests. They read a letter and they saw them outside. And Poool was looking outside with the smashed windows. And then Poool saw that was out there. And then Poool decided to go to the front door to check for the back door. And then they realizing it's a zombie England. And Poool got a fright and shut the door, almost get a bite. And then Poool have to grab Slosher and the ink bottle. And yes, the ink bottle and the Slosher to take those zombie England out. And they used cracking on other zombie England. After Poool cleared 3 of these zombie England, they check outside in the back door, and then they realize the other or England zombie grab the headphone then. And the English zombie boy was realizing that they're not by Poool, but they take the headphone off. And then Poool turn around and knock the England boy away. And that's pretty much it. And Poool was absolutely exhausted after take all these 4 zombie England out. And they went back to bed to sleep. And let's move on. Now 5k subscriber dance is a very funny video. You can see Poool dancing around in the lobby. After repeating, then they realizing, say, "What are you filming this?" And then they turn the camera off. Unfortunately, it looks like Poool was the only one who recorded themselves like that. It's very funny. Now the Angst Age videos. The Angst Age videos is a very good videos, and it's one of the most challenging videos made by Poool, because the video start on the England face was looking down the city, and then she reached objective to retrieve Warner's bag and return to a headquarters, and then Faith start to doing and parkour to get to a roof, and then she found first England. They push England off the roof, and then she run up towards the next England, and then she knocked the gun splat weapons off England boy's hands, and then push off the roof. And then once Vathos arrived, she see more or England's boy with the splat weapons. However, there are 3 of them. She kick at one of these England boy, and then she is circle kick at other one, and then she scared one of these England boy away. And then the phase found Ronald's bag and returned to the headquarters. And the England boy think this job was terrible, so they decided to find another job. And the end of this video was hilarious because we could hear that girl from Borderlands 2. We did not play that game, but I forgot what that called. And that's pretty much it. Now, the Auckland Innocent videos have 3 split apart videos instead of 1. This is the very first of Poool157 videos with split apart videos on animation videos. If you guys are not familiar with up to that video from Poool's videos, this is the start of the arc. After all, the video start of Bridge was start of the Amiibo challenge, and then they decided to take 3 of these Octoland. The one was Carrie's battle shot, the other was Carrie Cha-Cha, the other was Carrie Saplings, except for Lilo, who leave an Octoland headquarters crying because they don't want to be violent anymore. She don't want to be violent anymore, and she leave headquarters. And that video was ending with cliffhanger already. Wow, that was way to start off these videos. The Auckland and Innocent 2 videos, the Auckland and Innocent 1 Part 2 videos will start off a Bridge was struggling to fight against you already may guess that Scarlet. And Bruce was absolutely struggling to fight against Scarlet because Scarlet has slappers as black weapons. And the feed was caught to Layla, who trying to find some clothes. And that's how Layla was end up in Combopolis. She threw her phone towards the right in front of the clothing shop, and then she have to launch it. After that, and Poool was run into Poool, and Poool doesn't know why Layla was there, and Layla tell Poool to go for the clothes. And then Poool was eventually threatening Layla to splat Layla down, and Layla sat down crying because she don't want to be violent anymore. And that is so freaking and upset how Layla I was completely fight than all the bad Octoland. I can't tell why Layla's eye was fight because she's a friendly Octoland and not the wicked Octoland. And then Poool realized saying Layla was not the bad Octoland, but she's a good Octoland. And Poool tell Layla to stop crying, and then Poool had to buy some clothes for Layla. While on the clothes shop, Layla had to buy a blue shirt and some school shoe, and it's fit perfect like a glove. And then Layla hugged Poool, and the Poool tell Layla to head home, try to kiss all the bad happens. And then Layla head back to her headquarters instead of home, because Layla don't know where her home was at. And Poool hope Layla will not regret that. At the end of the video, when Layla went back to headquarters, she's encountered Scarlet again. Instead of Scarlet having a latest chat, she go had a very long chat with Layla, and that's how videos was end. The also innocent 1.3 videos is the third and fair last part of the innocent videos already. The video still up in a good place where Lila was already been there, and then Mia was started to complain and annoying because the bruise was taking too long. And then Mia decided to go after Brett while Brett was struggling to fight against Scarlett. The scene was cut to Scarlett or scold at Lila, and then Scarlett went about to shoot Lila, and Scarlett told Lila why the Lila was left, and then Scarlett tell a backstory when Scarlett tried to fight against Bruce where Bruce was struggling, and then Mia ended up show up to rescue Bruce's life, and Scarlett needed an assessment, and then nobody here while Scarlett head back to the room. Then Scarlett realizing Lila was already left the headquarters, and then back to present time where Scarlett went about to attack Lila with Sabler and then Lila had got a message from Poool to and then Lila threw her also phone at Scarlett, and then she fleeing. And then Lilith heard something noise from the hallway, and it's revealed that Lila was being chased by Scarlett. And then Lilith just saved Lila to get Scarlett out of the sight. And then Lila tell Poool, Lila tell Lilith about Poool where she can't hurt Poool. And then Lila tells Lila where Scarlett wants her. And then Lila was fleeing. Then Lila's realizing Poool was a Green England, which I don't know what Pool's name is. And then Poool was fixing the window for a second time. And then Poool got a message from Lila was in danger. So Poool had to bring Sloshy up, but however, Poool was accident left it. Then boarded by an accident. And then Lila trying to escape headquarters, but Lila went around circle. And then Lila had to shoot through all these ink, and then she realized it's out of ink. So Lila have to get out of the headquarters, but end up get grabbed by Scarlett. And then Scarlett was almost shoot at Lila, but Poool was arrived in nick of time. And Poool had to fight against Scarlett on one-on-one. However, when Poool was jumping on top of the Scarlett with a saucer, they realizing they left it, they ain't bothered behind. So I think Poool was completely forgot to bring and bother with him. And then Pool's saucer ended up getting knocked off from the hand by Scarlett Slabler, and the Scarlett knocked Poool down unconscious. And then Lila blamed herself like that, but it's not her fault because of Lila's frightfulness. And then Scarlett really go for a Lila, and then she got knocked down by Lilith. And Scarlett was completely knocked down unconscious. And then Leslie or Luna checked on Lila, and then Lila ran towards Poool, and Lila started crying because Lila thought Poool was dead. However, Poool was wake up to tell Lila to stop crying because Lila, Luna, Leslie and Lilith thought Poool was dead, but it's just knocked down unconscious. When Poool was wake up, smile at Lila and all the three Octolen. And that's how videos had end. Now, the Q&A video is just Poool talking but or get asked by the fans or friends. Now I'm not going to talk about Q&A feature from now on. We know what Poool has been doing on Q&A, so let's skip these two videos. However, the Q&A videos as a very last GMOD videos made by Poool, and then Poool have to move on to source filmmaking because the source filmmaking had better graphics made by Poool. This video started when Poool was in the world of source filmmaking, and then they saw Lelo was there, and they are Orange England from all those Splatoon videos. And that's how videos end already. The Octopus Hangout videos is my favorite Pool's videos because the Octopus Hangout videos was supposed to be a sequel, but it's a spin-off videos of Octopus Innocent videos. The Octopus Hangout videos was take place where the first Octopus Innocent videos was left off. The video start of Poool was in the cabin with the head laid down on table, got bored, and the phone call was suddenly raining, and the Poool started to phone up, and Poool was phone Lena up after phone given by Lena, and then Luna and Leslie or whatever, and then Lena wanted to have hangout with Poool, and Poool would agree because it's not fun to be on cabin or home. So Poool decided to go hang out with Lela and the other three Octoland. While Lela and the other three Octoland go to pick up Poool, and then Poool finished these drinks and sandwich. But Poool will go outside the cafe, and Poool was here starting from really noise. It turned out to be Lela. And later on, the other three further Octoland wanted to go hang out with Poool. So Poool decided to go hang out with 4 Octoland. But let's say tell Poool they never introduced themselves yet. And then later introduced themselves to Poool. And then they start to hang out, and that's how videos just end already. The Octopus Hangout part 2 videos was starting inside the clothes shop. When Poool go and talk to Lila, which Lila pick up a hair clip for her hair, and then Poool will go to see a Luna who have a trouble find some shoe for her, and then Poool find Leslie who complained about the green hat, which is not pink but it's oppositely green. Now that doesn't even make sense because in the game the hat color was changed during the turf war or the rank battle from Splatoon 1 and 2. Yeah, it's a bit silly to say that. And then Poool can see the purple t-shirt. Now this is a very last feature to see Poool wearing a mint shirt since the club entry videos. And now Poool will currently wear a purple shirt for following videos instead of mint shirts. So Poool will meet up with 4 Octoland again. And then the way they go to hairdresser and the videos end. Now this video where Poool catch Blue Raven in this video, and it's cause it's bit amazing to see that. Yep, Poool catching Blue Raven. How amazing to see that. Now let's move on. The Octopus Hangout Part 3 is still of Alison was complaining about few hours left till barbershop closed forever. And then Alice see Lilith in the door, and then the other two oxygen inside the barber shop. But Lilith pushed Poool to get to the hairstyle. And then Alice introduced herself to Poool and other four oxygen. And Lilith let Poool go first to get the hair done. And that is so funny for a moment, because the photo scene was start off, let's say, Luna, then Lilith, then Lila, and then Poool, which Poool accident fall down to the floor after taking a picture. But it's not a very good experience in barbershop to take a picture like that. And after a picture done, Lila think Poool was so cute when Poool was on Octolen. And then Lila think Poool was cute when in Octolen. And then we could see Lilith Lilith paying for her hair done. And then the Auckland leave the barber shop, and then they made a mess in the barber shop or the mobber. And then Poool put the hand on the camera for a second time. But it's just a fourth wall breaking. And then back to the cafe where Pool's been at. And Lila tell Poool to goodbye. And 3 Auckland found, and Lila was completely grew up. And Lila tell these 2 Auckland hope Lila was safe. And they hope they can't get any worse. Unfortunately, it is get worse. The scene called the Scarlet was wake up from knockdown unconscious, and then Scarlet got a message, and then they think Lila is traitor still, and Scarlet ended up killing the seasonal, the one got knocked down by Lilith, and then Scarlet killed the seasonal, and this video just ends. And the videos will be continued on Auckland, and there's 2 videos which are completely left it unfinished. The Auckland Innocent 2 videos will take place with Auckland Innocent 1 and Octopus Hangout videos was left off. The videos have started off later have a night terror, and they can see that evil Auckland was look like Lilith who murdered that Agent Orange, then they tried to murder Layla. And then Layla was wake up from the night terror. And yes, this can get any worse after Scarlet was knocked down and then wake up. Then Layla was absolutely frightened and terrifying. And Layla can see Leslie and Lila chatting at each other, and then she hugged Lilith because Lila was completely scared. And Lila think it's done, but Lila was still frightened since Auckland Innocent 1 videos. And Lila hugging Lilith in fear because. And the video was cut to a flashback scene to show what happened to Lila in the past. The flashback scene showed Lila was being dragged back to these 2 Auckland. Then Lila was end up in the headquarters to the flashback segment. And then that's why you had to find out what happened to Lila's past. And then Lila was shocked and frightened to see multiple Aucklands and Octavian. And then 2 Auckland to tell Lila to get to the changing room. When Lila head to the changing room, then she first encountered both Jade and Mimi, the 2 troublemaker Auckland. was completely immature because the meme was called Layla a Little Birdie. And Layla was look at Mimi was look like and silly, and then Layla asked Jade and Mimi where the changing room was at, and then it's right in front of Layla. Once Layla was at changing room, she changed into an Oxley outfit. And then Layla can see Lilith tell Layla will be there in 5 minutes. And then Layla started to cry and then lie down to sleep because she started to frighten like that. And that video was just end. Now the rapper compilation is just a recap of 2015 and 2016 videos from past year.
So that's your plan.
Now, if my character had a voice made by Poool, was quite funny videos because they use a voice clip from the game. But I'm not going to talk about that because that would be funny like that. Let's move on. The Oakland and some 2 videos it still carry on where the first part was left off. The video started off the flashback scene where Layla had a sister, but Layla was at her home to wake her little sister up. After a few moments, she can hear her mother, which looked like Layla's mother, and then Layla brings her sister downstairs, and the camera shows these Octolin and Gogo, and it's turning red because the show saw that bad happened. The video is cut to a present time where Mia and Brez was doing another Amiibo challenge. After a few seconds later, the male show up and slap Brez's face. And then Mia tell Brez what Mia did saw. When Mia talked to Brez, Mia was saw an Octolin with England known as Poool and Miller. If guys get in the world's favorites Octolin and the same videos, it showed a recap of second parts from first Octolin and the same videos, and then the back to present time where they are at. While Brett was finding that spot, the mail was already left and Brett just catch Mia up. And the scene was back to a flashback scene again, but on training court of headquarters of Octolin. When Layla was at the training course, that she encountered Mimi again from first part. And Mimi was still completely troublemaker. When Layla called Layla over, if Gaskin was not familiar with, we had Scarlet was there, but not the border of the table. When Layla tell Layla they got tasks to do, and then Layla had to start training. However, Layla was having a bad time to training with other bad Octolin. First she's shooting, then bottle throwing, then Octobrush, then climbing up and over and climb down, and then the Octo sprint. But Layla was first encounter a Layla known as Crystal. Now we know Layla was already dead first encounter. Layla since the first part video of Octolin and 2. When Lena tell Layla is remind of Lena or Crystal's sisters. After Lena was talking bit, then she realized and Layla was having a drifting flashback. And as we feel the show, Layla, instead of Layla's own parents, Layla had an unexpected unwelcome to visitor. If a guy can see that, one of the most eerie scenes so far. Yep, we could see Lela have an unexpected guest. Instead of Lela's mother or father, we had two unexpected birthday guests who were about to take Lela, but Lela's little sister was left behind in the home. That is one of the most eerie scenes so far. When Lena tried to help Lela to get up, however, Lela still had a drifting flashback. And Lela was shocked and horrified when Lela had to dismiss the training because of Lela having a drifting flashback. And then this video had ended with Lela was absolutely fainted after having a drifting flashback. Now, and 1 year later, the Auckland Innocent 2 Part 3 video was uploaded 1 year after second part. Now, the video was completely corrupted back in February 2018 because Poool was absolutely upset and they blamed themselves, and then they had to redo that videos again. Now, let's talk about this videos from now on. Now, the Auckland Innocent 2 Part 3 videos take place where the second part was left off. The video started with a little bit flashback scene of Scarlett with frustration and break the stuff and weapons, and let us tell Scarlett to stop. While let us test the weapons out. Then and Scarlett was tell Lilith whereas Lilith will be her instead of Lilith, and then Lilith tells Scarlett to stop, and that's why Scarlett started to act so strange, acting like a badass. The scene was cut to the present time where Poool had arrived home, put the phone back on the table, and then they looked at the broken window if Gaskell did not watch the GMOD videos back then. And Poool was going to a box to check anything here. And then suddenly the phone was ringing. And then Poool had to contact Lila. And then Poool got a fight, and then it looked like Lila was phone Poool up. If Gaskell was not familiar with, if Gaskell could see the subtitle, and look, no name on the subtitle. However, it looked like Lila was back to headquarters but got lost. And then Poool tell Lila to stay where they are because it looked like Lila was phoning the Poool up. If you guys can see that there's no name on subtitle, it shows something something bad happened to Poool if Poool was right to headquarters. Yep, something bad happened to Poool. And then Poool decided to bring the hero slasher, and then Poool went to find Lila in the headquarters. Yep, there's no name on subtitle because the show something bad happened. And then Poool went back to the place where they had since the past videos. And then Poool had to get back to headquarters. However, the scene show Mia and Brett ready to chase down Poool. Because Brett and Mia think Poool is one of them. The scene got to headquarters of Auckland, which is already abandoned. And then Poool had arrived in abandoned Auckland headquarters because it's been there for so long. And then Poool started to find Lella, which it looked like Lella was filmed with Poool was up. But because there's no name on the subtitle, because the show something bad happened. When Poool started to walk down the hallway of the abandoned headquarters, when Poool hoping there's not going to be something bad to happen, but when Poool's arrived and where the hallway was at, getting up knocked down by Scarlet again. And then the second time that Scarlet knocked Poool down. And the scene was cut to flashback scene again. But this time Lella was wake up in a changing room after drafting flashback. And then she see Lena again. And Lena tell Lella to meet up at the lunchtime. After lunchtime, it's cut to the battle zone. And there are multiple Auckland waited to fight against England. While Lella was realizing she's late, and then she had to catch up with other Auckland. After a while, Lella had fled while Lella waited about to ask question. And then Lella waited to start to battle against England. While Lella was waiting for these England, then she started to feel a bit bored already. And Lella was in a full sleep while England was arrived. But the England was so struggling to fight against multiple hostile Aucklands. When Jay told Lella do not fall asleep at the work, and the Lellos wake up and to see another England had arrived, where the other two got splattered for struggling to fight against Auckland. When Lella read about the shoot one of these England, then she having another draft and flashback to tell Lella do not to hurt England. And then Lella was having another draft and flashback. Then she first encountered, let's say, a Lockhart. And that was just a surname like that for first time to hear that. When Lella shoot at the England ball where Lella was worried about the shoot, the Lella was shocked. And Lella tell the Lockhart said, don't. It's Lella. While it's Lassie. While Lella worried about to move on, but she can see Lella was looking at Lella because she not tolerate to wait Lella for much longer. And the Lella tell Lella that to get back to meet up with Lella again. And that is how videos just end. Now, the Auckland Innocent 2.4 videos supposed to be uploaded back then, but Poool tell the fans and the part 4 will be happening, but however, Poool broke the promise to the fans because the Auckland Innocent 2 videos are supposed to be finished off by now. You can see that secret date videos where Poool was appeared. It show Poool was not finished off the Auckland Innocent videos yet. After Poool first watched the secret date videos, and Poool can read in the comments right below for these videos, and Poool gave a little one like on one of the fans, and Poool realizing they have to get back to source filmmaking to finish off Auckland Innocent 2 Part 4 and 5 videos. Because of Auckland Innocent 2 was completely left it unfinished. But being a YouTuber means they're supposed to be finished off the videos with completely split part videos. After Poool watching secret date videos made by AG Splatoon videos, and after Poool read few of these complaining fans comment, because Poool have to get back to working on Oxygen Innocent videos again. Because the Oxygen Innocent 2 videos was completely left it unfinished, so Poool has to finish off eventually. I know we're all desperate to see what happened next in part 4 of Oxygen Innocent 2 videos, to see what happened to Lila's past. And it's been far too long already. I know I don't want to know what happened back then on 2019, well, the beginning of 2019. And since I don't even realize that Poool was still at the college on 2018 to 2019, if guys get hoping this is just a final year of college where Poool's at or not, but it's just a bit private like that. But the Oxygen Innocent 2 part 4 videos will be uploaded on this summer 2019 after Poool finished the college. We will see what happened next in Oxygen Innocent 2 part 4 videos on summer 2019. But it's almost summer 2019 already. And of course, and do apologize for that back then. I'm so impatient I am. I'm so selfish I am like that. I'm also feel idiot I am. So I'm still trying my best to be patient person as I can, because the Oxygen Innocent 2 part 4 videos made by Poool will be uploaded on summer 2019. And Poool will be finished off the part 5 as well, because it's a 5-part videos which is supposed to be finished off right now, but not to worry. I hope you guys and girls enjoy watching these talking about videos. Please leave comments below. Please add like a favorite to my videos, and please subscribe and follow into my channel if you're new to me. Now I better try my best to be more patient person as I can, and there are links in the description below. And Peace Man Shorts, I hope you enjoy it. Peace Man Shorts, so I had to be wait a bit longer as I can. Peace Man Shorts.